You got a big fight coming up against Charles Jourdain, though. It's a pretty compelling fight. When was this initially offered to you, and what kind of drew you to it? The whole, champ sort of thing in this situation. I mean, it's a champ versus a champ technically. So when did the initial talks for this fight come about?
A long time ago, actually, before I fought Derek Gauthier for the title. Charles Jourdain called Stéphane Patry and said, "What do you think about a fight between me and Jesse Ronson? I want to call him out." And Stéphane's like, "Well, if you want it, I'll do it." So that was when Jourdain fought Will Romero. Patry called me and told me, "Hey, come down to Montreal. Charles Jourdain is going to call you out, and we're going to set that up. It's going to be a main event fight, so on and so forth." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I drove to Montreal. He fought Will Romero, beat him. It was a rather lackluster fight on Jourdain's part, and I was standing cage side waiting to get brought into the ring because he was supposed to call me out, and he never did. So the fight kind of dissipated from there, and then, after all the title fights and everything happened, Jourdain didn't win, so he ended up losing to TJ Laramie. He got embarrassed there, and then had a comeback or whatever it was. He's a champion now, and maybe beating Alex Morgan gave him confidence. I don't know. But he called Stéphane again and said, "Hey, he wants to do this fight now." And I'm always down. I'm ready. I need opponents. And he told me early January or maybe even late December. I can't remember. But it's been a while now, so I've been training for Jourdain since January.
And do you know exactly when this fight's going down? Because I've seen certain talk about, TKO 46, like a bunch of, issues popping up with that card going off. But TKO was saying they wanted to, not disrupt the rest of the schedule of the year. And I know this card was, tentatively slated for April, but it seemed like there was not a specific date in a lot of the promotional material. So as far as you know, when is this card going on and when's the fight happening itself?
The fight is going down Thursday, April 11th. It was originally supposed to be the 12th, but now he's moved it to the 11th. And it's in Montreal at the Claude Robillard Center, or Centre Claude Robillard, whatever, in Montreal. You can buy tickets. Everything's already up online. It's on the TKO website. It's officially April 11th is when the fight is at the Claude Robillard Center.
Yeah, and you mentioned the situation with the TJ Laramie fight there, just how it seems like there was that big, glaring weakness in his ability to, work off his back and defend the takedowns. But, Jourdain, a pretty dynamic striker. Are you looking to maybe take the fight to the ground and sort of exercise your dominance in that sort of end because you saw, that level of weakness? Or is there some level of intrigue to strike with a guy like Charles Jourdain who favors that kind of like flashy sort of stand-up style?
100%. I'm a kickboxer first. I always like to strike, and I always like to expose people's weaknesses. And I've stated that Charles Jourdain doesn't really have any fundamental kickboxing, boxing, Muay Thai. Like, he doesn't have any fundamental. He's that guy that showed up to the gym and went up to his coach the very first day and said, "Hey, show me how to do a jump spinning hook kick instead of learning a fundamental stance, where your hands should be, how to throw a proper jab, a proper cross, moving, everything." He was just like, "Show me all the fancy stuff, So that's what he does. He's just super flashy and fancy, and he gets away with it by being athletic and quick. And the thing is, he's not an innovator of this. We got a guy at the gym here, Chris Clements. Everybody's heard of him, Chris the Menace Clements. He's been doing this stuff that Charles Jourdain's been doing since like 2001. And, I talked to Chris about it, and I'm like, "Yo, so who taught you all this fancy stuff and everything else?" He goes, "Nobody." He's like, "I literally thought of all this stuff every day when I would go home from the gym and be in the shower." So I'm like, wow, if Chris Clements can teach himself how to do all this fancy stuff just by envisioning it in the shower, like, how skilled can Charles Jourdain actually be? So my goal is to humble this young, athletic, spazzy kid and show him that, he's got a lot of work to do, and he should learn his fundamentals before trying to be, the next John Jones and Conor McGregor, who've actually put in the groundwork and have a solid foundation to do the stuff that they do. Because watching Charles Jourdain, like, he doesn't know how to throw a proper jab or a cross or string together a combination or something. It's just all spastic, and it makes no sense, and it's awkward. So I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to show him what a good technical fighter looks like, and I can also do the flash too. And if by chance, some divine reason I can't, is flash, is spazziness, or whatever it is just isn't going my way, well, I know I'm as good, if not better, than TJ Laramie in the ground game and especially the wrestling game. I'll get a hold of him and I will just crush him, because when he fought TJ, he actually said to TJ in the second round when he was on top of him, he's like, man, you're so strong and you are so heavy. He said that to TJ when TJ was on top of him. TJ was like, what the fuck? So I'm bigger than TJ and stronger than TJ. So if he had a hard time with him, he's just going to have a nightmare with me. I'm going to break him in half. I feel confident no matter where I want to take this fight. If I want to showcase a certain aspect of my skills, I will. Whether it's striking, grappling, it doesn't matter. I can showcase where I want.